In the grand halls of the royal palace, a pivotal moment unfolded as King Daniel shifted the scene. With an air of gravity, he confronted Count Gregory, accusing him of jeopardizing the security of the Cairo kingdom through his collaboration with the Kronos Empire. King Daniel, his regal presence undeterred, questioned Count Gregory about his involvement. Count Gregory, acknowledging his actions, pondered aloud whether his allegiance to the Kronos Empire was misguided. He pressed further, questioning if anyone in the kingdom was oblivious to his connection with the enemy. King Daniel, with a stern expression, declared that Count Gregory's admission alone branded him a traitor to the Cairo kingdom. Undeterred, Count Gregory retorted, suggesting that it might be the king who was gravely mistaken. He warned King Daniel that eliminating him on the spot would not go unanswered by the formidable Kronos Empire, whose emperor had already vowed revenge in blood. With conviction, Count Gregory urged King Daniel to reconsider his decision, proposing an alternative. Rather than face the consequences within the kingdom, he suggested that the king send him directly to the Kronos Empire, arguing that it would be a wiser choice for the safety of Cairo. As the tense exchange unfolded, King Daniel found himself contemplating Count Gregory's words. He acknowledged a thread of truth in the count's assertions. Indeed, King Daniel had entertained the notion of executing all those with ties to the Kronos Empire. However, he now realized the potential consequences. Should Count Gregory face his fate, the wrath of the Kronos Empire might shift its gaze towards Roman Dimitry. In that charged moment, Roman interjected, expressing a pressing desire to speak. Addressing King Daniel directly, Roman revealed a chilling proclamation. The Emperor of Kronos had decreed that Roman would pay with his own blood. Yet, Roman swiftly diverted the conversation, emphasizing that this matter was distinct from Count Gregory's. Roman made a compelling argument, contrasting Count Gregory's significance with that of other figures. Unlike Count Fabius and Knight Captain Gustavo, Count Gregory held far less sway. Moreover, Roman asserted that the Kronos Empire's attention was already fixated on him. He reminded King Daniel that even if Count Gregory were eliminated, it would not alter the trajectory set in motion since the execution of Benedict. The era of Cairo's peace had come to an abrupt end. With conviction, Roman urged King Daniel to grasp the weight of the decision before him. The future of Cairo hung in the balance. As the weight of Roman's words settled upon King Daniel, a profound sense of indebtedness washed over him once more. Stepping forward, King Daniel conveyed the enduring gratitude of the Cairo royal family for Roman Dimitri's unwavering devotion. However, the gravity of the situation demanded a stern address. King Daniel asserted that Count Gregory's transgressions extended beyond mere collusion with the Kronos Empire. They tarnished the very honor of Cairo. Despite Count Gregory's attempts to interject, King Daniel silenced him, declaring that, as a traitor who had imperiled the kingdom, execution was the only just consequence. The scene transitioned to Cairo Plaza, where Count Gregory, reflecting on his foolishness, pondered an alternative course of action. Instead of attempting to win Roman over, he realized he should have treated Roman Dimitry as a potential threat to the empire. Undeterred, Count Gregory proposed to Roman that he still had the chance to pledge loyalty to the empire, emphasizing Roman's insignificance compared to the vast power of Kronos. He pointed out that Gustavo, the adversary Roman had faced, ranked only 78th within the continent, a stark reminder of the empire's formidable might. Count Gregory's voice carried a note of urgency as he continued to address Roman. He spoke of Valhalla, a realm where countless individuals possessed strength beyond even Roman's reckoning. He challenged Roman's belief in his ability to face these formidable adversaries alone, urging him to consider the consequences wisely. Even if Roman's dealings with the Kronos Empire concluded, Count Gregory warned, Valhalla remained a looming threat. He emphasized that if he were executed, Roman's ties with Valhalla would be irrevocably severed. Roman's response was unexpected. He calmly expressed anticipation for the impending confrontation. Count Gregory, taken aback, accused Roman of foolishness for willingly antagonizing the two most powerful factions on the continent. Thus, the stage was set for the downfall of Cairo's three factions. Meanwhile, within the confines of the royal palace, King Daniel turned his attention to Count Vanderburg. Praise filled his words as he commended the Count for his leadership on the western front line, where he had successfully repelled the forces of the Kronos Empire. Amidst the chaos of the Kronos invasion, Count Vanderburg emerged as a beacon of valor, bringing honor to Cairo through his courageous actions. In recognition of his deeds, King Daniel bestowed upon him the prestigious title of Marquis, along with additional territory to govern. However, King Daniel's praise did not end there. He acknowledged the bravery of others who had fought tirelessly on the Western front line against the Kronos onslaught. Baron Noel, Flora Lawrence, and Roman Dimitry were singled out for their remarkable contributions to the war effort. As a token of appreciation, King Daniel elevated their status and rewarded each with a generous sum of gold. Yet, it was Roman Dimitri's pivotal role that drew particular attention. King Daniel openly credited Roman and his family for their indispensable aid, without which the royal faction might not have emerged victorious. The assembled nobles echoed their agreement, insisting that Roman deserved a more substantial reward for his invaluable service. However, few nobles hesitated. Despite Roman's undeniable importance, the nobles harbored concerns about granting him further power. Aware of the formidable strength already wielded by Dimitri's forces, nobles feared upsetting the delicate balance of power among the factions. Count Bindner, sensing the tension in the room, intervened. With a firm voice, he urged the gathered nobles to cease their arguments and focus on the greater good. Count Bindner's voice cut through the murmurs of the gathered nobles, reminding them of Cairo Kingdom's painful history of betrayal. He cautioned against repeating past mistakes by selfishly pursuing individual gains at the expense of unity. King Daniel nodded in agreement, acknowledging the wisdom in Bindner's words. With a somber tone, King Daniel conceded that Roman Dimitry and his family posed a challenge beyond Cairo's containment. The war had unveiled the extent of the Dimitry family's power, surpassing even that of Cairo itself. Recognizing this reality, King Daniel proposed a shift in perspective. Rather than treating the Dimitris as mere vassals, they should be acknowledged as allies, a nation in their own right. King Daniel saw an opportunity amidst the turmoil, an opportunity to redefine Cairo's image to the world. He envisioned a new era of cooperation and strength. To mark this historic moment, he announced that on the day the Dimitry family officially declared their dukedom, he would extend his personal congratulations. Thus, as the sovereign of Cairo, King Daniel bestowed upon the Dimitry family the esteemed title of Duke, cementing their place as valued partners in the kingdom's future endeavors. King Daniel proclaimed the eastern region, encompassing the Dimitri's domain, as a dukedom. Thus, on this historic day, what was once mere countryside blossomed into the inaugural territory of the Dimitri's dukedom. The news rippled through the Cairo kingdom, igniting conversations far and wide about the remarkable deeds of Roman Dimitry. Not only had he quelled the factional discord that plagued Cairo for ages, but he had also defied the might of the Kronos Empire. Whispers filled the streets, pondering who could possibly stand against the indomitable Roman Dimitry. Even the king himself bore witness to Roman's prowess, leaving many to wonder about the extent of his strength. At an age where most struggled to leave their mark, Roman Dimitry stood on the cusp of unprecedented greatness. Speculation swirled, with many daring to dream that Roman, as a swordsman of Cairo, might ascend to the prestigious ranks of the top 50 for the first time in history. The magnitude of Roman's accomplishments reverberated across the continent, transcending borders and uniting people in awe. Regardless of nationality, all eyes turned to Roman Dimitry, a figure whose actions had rewritten the annals of history. As tales of Roman's exploits spread far and wide, even the wandering minstrels wove songs of his achievements. With each passing mention, the stature of the Dimitry family seemed to ascend ever higher into the boundless skies. Yet, the genesis of these rumors didn't emerge by happenstance. They traced back to a certain mansion nestled within Cairo. Within the confines of this mansion, a conversation unfolded between a butler and his master. The butler relayed news of the continent's burgeoning fascination with Sir Roman, noting how his renown was poised to transcend even Cairo's borders. The master, revealed to be Henry, expressed satisfaction at the unfolding events, deeming their plan a success. However, Henry's satisfaction was short-lived. In his eyes, their current achievements were but a fraction of what was yet to come. It had taken him 2 years to elevate a mere baronial family to the esteemed status of the Dimitry dukedom, but his ambitions extended far beyond Cairo's borders. Henry envisioned a grander stage where Roman Dimitry would be hailed as the hero of the entire continent. To realize this vision, Henry understood the need to amplify Roman's feats, ensuring they resonated across every corner of the land. Henry Albert reflected on the remarkable transformation his life had undergone. From the humble beginnings of gathering like-minded individuals interested in Roman's endeavors, Henry's influence had surged. Now, he found himself delivering lectures at the prestigious Cairo Royal Academy, an opportunity he could scarcely have imagined in the past. Teaching the children of esteemed families and receiving overwhelming responses to his lectures, Henry's household had shifted from fretting over financial concerns to basking in pride. At the Cairo Royal Academy, a pivotal encounter unfolded. The professor, deeply moved by Henry's lecture, confessed to feeling a surge of excitement within his heart. He credited Henry for shedding light on a crucial truth. It was the unwavering dedication of Cairo's heroes on the southern front line that safeguarded the city's populace. Thanks to Henry's insights, the professor gained a newfound appreciation for the sacrifices made by these valiant defenders. In a sudden flash of insight, Henry experienced a profound realization about life. The reason for the fervent fascination surrounding him was remarkably simple. People yearned to perceive Roman Dimitry through the lens of Henry Albert. Despite Henry's relative anonymity, his association with Sir Roman, particularly his communication with the royal family on Roman's behalf, elevated him to a status of greatness in the eyes of many. Henry understood that this admiration wasn't rooted in foolishness. Even esteemed figures like the professor from the Royal Academy held Henry in high regard. It seemed to be a primal instinct of humanity to seek connection and inspiration through those who championed heroes. Reflecting on history, Henry recognized that the legendary names known worldwide had gained their renown through the efforts of individuals like himself, ones who shared their heroic exploits with the world. From that moment onward, Henry's life mission crystallized before him, to disseminate Roman's achievements far and wide, ensuring that his greatness echoed throughout the annals of history. Later, within the confines of his mansion, Henry contemplated the fact that he and Roman were not particularly close. Yet, for the sake of his own comfort and fulfillment, Henry felt compelled to shine a spotlight on the remarkable character of Roman Dimitry. Such was the way of life in this world, where destinies intertwined and choices defined fates. The scene transitions to the Dimitry territory, where Rodwell has returned to his hometown after an unspecified length of time. As he traverses the familiar streets, Rodwell reflects on the changes that have taken place in his absence. As Rodwell ventures into Dimitry territory, he settles into a quiet corner of a restaurant, observing the reverent chatter surrounding Roman's name. Amidst this atmosphere, Rodwell feels a sense of displacement, sensing that he no longer fits within the Dimitry fold. He grapples with the realization that he has strayed from his path. Contemplating his future, Rodwell understands that a decision must be made, to either embrace his place within the Dimitries or to embark once more towards the western horizon. Abruptly, the scene transitions to Baron Romero's office, where both Roman and Rodwell have convened to meet their father. Baron Romero reveals the purpose behind summoning them, the impending succession of the Dimitry family. With the imminent transformation of the Dimitries into a dukedom, a new chapter is set to unfold for the family. Aware of the weight of their impending responsibilities, both Rodwell and Roman understand that the burdens upon their shoulders are about to grow heavier. Baron Romero was in a quandary about who should succeed the Dimitry family. Rodwell, his son, approached him with a surprising request. Rodwell expressed his wish to forfeit his right to succession. He believed Roman was better suited for the role. Rodwell made this decision thinking about the future of the Dimitry lineage. He asked his father to let him go. Baron Dimitry was taken aback by this revelation. Rodwell then requested some time for himself and left the room. Later, Romero Dimitry confided in Roman about how Baron Dimitry had once worried about burdening Rodwell too much. Coming from humble beginnings, the Dimitry family faced skepticism from other nobles. Baron Romero had noticed Rodwell's dedication to training with his sword, a sign of his determination to prove the doubters wrong. In the eyes of Baron Romero, Rodwell stood out among the rest, displaying exceptional qualities that hinted at his potential to carry the weight of the Dimitry legacy on his shoulders. Despite being in an age where most would indulge in youthful pursuits, Rodwell found himself burdened by the weight of his father's expectations. For Rodwell, who had dedicated his entire life to the service of the Dimitry family, this responsibility was both a privilege and a heavy mantle to bear. However, today marked a turning point. Baron Romero grappled with the difficult decision of informing Rodwell that he couldn't ascend to the position of successor. Though filled with regret, Baron Romero believed this choice was necessary for the future of the Dimitry lineage. Baron Romero confides in Roman, expressing his belief that Roman's ascension as successor would be the most fitting course of action. However, before Roman's eventual succession, Baron Romero humbly requests a favor. With a solemn tone, Roman urges his father to share his request. Baron Romero reveals that he wishes for Roman to take on the responsibility of caring for his brother, Rodwell, who has endured significant losses throughout his life. This poignant plea marks Baron Romero's final request to Roman, who is poised to inherit the leadership of the Dimitries. Roman, with a sense of duty, assures his father that he will do his utmost to fulfill this responsibility. The scene then transitioned to the Dimitry family's training grounds, where Rodwell was diligently honing his swordsmanship skills. However, a sense of dismay washed over him as he repeatedly missed his target. Despite his intentions to strike true, Rodwell found that his swings consistently fell short of their mark. At that moment, Roman entered the scene, observing Rodwell's struggles with a keen eye. He approached his brother with a gentle yet firm demeanor, explaining that simply aiming for the target wouldn't be sufficient in overcoming their adversaries. Roman pointed out that Rodwell's body movements had been ingrained through years of rigorous training, and the loss of one eye had altered more than just his vision. With empathy in his voice, Roman elaborated on the challenges Rodwell now faced, the distortion of distance perception and the uncertainty that stemmed from it. However, he urged Rodwell not to dwell solely on what he had lost. Instead, Roman encouraged him to harness the strengths he still possessed, emphasizing that adaptation and resourcefulness would be key in navigating this new reality. Rodwell's world was about to expand in ways he couldn't have imagined before. Roman assured him that with the right guidance, he could perceive a reality beyond what his eyes alone could reveal. This offer stirred something within Rodwell, prompting him to question Roman's motives with a hint of defiance. "Why should I listen to you?" Rodwell challenged, his tone edged with skepticism. He pressed Roman further, demanding to know why his brother cared so deeply for him, especially now that Roman had ascended to the position of successor. In a solemn conversation, Roman conveys to Rodwell that the Dimitry family has entered a new and precarious phase. They find themselves in disfavor with both Kronos and Valhalla, and the unpredictable nature of their intentions adds an element of uncertainty. Roman cautions Rodwell that the Kingdom Alliance's allegiance may not be unwavering until the very end, emphasizing the need for Dimitry to bolster its own strength for self-protection. Despite Roman's ability to navigate challenges independently thus far, he acknowledges the inevitability of reaching his limits with time. Contemplating potential conflicts, Roman expresses that if the Empire mobilizes its forces and attacks, he would be compelled to take the battlefield. In anticipation of such scenarios, Roman candidly suggests to Rodwell that, in his absence, he hopes his brother can assume leadership over Dimitry. This revelation leaves Rodwell momentarily stunned. In the southwestern expanse of the Salamander continent, the four kingdoms, Umberto, Redford, Odelia, and Frank, find themselves geographically adjacent to the expansive empires. Recognizing the need for collective security, they forged the Kingdom Alliance, a pact born out of the necessity for mutual defense. In the face of looming threats, they instinctively understood the significance of Roman Dimitry. A few days preceding the proclamation ceremony of the Duchy of Dimitry, the scene transitions to a conference room. Here, nobles from all four kingdoms have convened. Count Verdio, representing the Umberto kingdom, addresses his counterparts gathered around the table. He recounted the recent turmoil in Cario, a rebellion of unprecedented scale, which Roman Dimitry had adeptly managed. Highlighting Rodwell's role in rallying the Southern Kingdom Alliance to brace for potential retaliation from the Empire, Count Verdio emphasized Roman's prowess not only in military might but also in strategic acumen. However, he cautioned that the stability of the Southern Kingdom Alliance was far from guaranteed. Count Verdio's voice resonated with conviction as he addressed the gathered nobles. He proposed a solution to secure the kingdom's independence: Roman Dimitry. Noting Roman's unmarried status, Count Verdio suggested the strategic move of arranging a marriage between him and the Princess of Umberto. The King of Umberto pondered the suggestion but voiced concern about the princess's existing affections. Count Verdio, however, emphasized the urgency of the situation, stressing that personal sentiments must be set aside in favor of seizing the opportunity at hand. Responding decisively, the King of Umberto bestowed Count Verdio with full authority over the matter, entrusting him with the responsibility of ensuring the success of the proposed union with Roman Dimitry. As time passed, the proclamation of the Duchy of Dimitry filled the air with jubilation, marking a joyous occasion for the realm. The festivities enveloped Dimitry in a vibrant atmosphere of celebration. In the halls of the Dimitry Palace, Duke Romero and his wife were greeted by Count Verdio. With a tactful yet assertive demeanor, Count Verdio broached the topic of Roman's marital prospects, suggesting that perhaps the time had come for him to consider marriage. With a twinkle of anticipation in his eye, Count Verdio proposed the idea of Roman marrying the Princess of Umberto. Known as the Treasure of Umberto, the princess possessed a rare blend of beauty and intellect, having graduated with flying colors from a renowned academy. Count Verdio envisioned a union between her and the finest scion of the Dimitry lineage as an ideal match. Suddenly, Count Ringo of the Redford Kingdom stepped forward, casting doubt upon the princess's supposed affections. He hinted at rumors suggesting her fondness for a man of lesser rank from a baron's family. Count Verdio, visibly taken aback by this revelation, questioned the credibility of such hearsay. Count Ringo then introduced himself to Duke Romero and his wife, proposing alternative matches from Redford's noble families. Duke Martin of the Odelia Kingdom echoed this sentiment, triggering a chorus of suggestions from other nobles vying for Roman's hand in marriage. Amidst the escalating clamor, Duke Romero intervened, commanding attention with his authoritative voice. He declared his and his wife's disinterest in political alliances, preferring genuine affection over strategic unions. Duke Romero proposed a different approach, suggesting that rather than pressuring them, they should allow Roman to follow his heart. If a woman were to capture his son's affections, Duke Romero and his wife would extend their warm embrace to her, regardless of her noble lineage. The nobles exchanged knowing smirks as Duke Romero's declaration echoed through the chamber. Meanwhile, out on the terrace, Felix was approached by Baron Larsen, representing the Kingdom of Frank. Baron Larsen expressed the deep concern of Frank's ruler over the disappearance of the Phoenix Tower. He proposed a solution, suggesting that Felix consider returning to Frank, assuring him of full support henceforth. Baron Larsen pledged his word once more on behalf of his kingdom. However, Felix met Baron Larsen's offer with a firm rebuttal. He reminded the Baron of Frank's previous betrayal of the Phoenix Tower's trust. Undeterred, Baron Larsen insisted that this time would be different, and Frank would uphold its responsibilities. Yet, Felix remained resolute, rejecting the offer outright. He explained that the Phoenix Tower had found someone who valued their worth and had pledged their allegiance to the Dimitry family. With finality, Felix instructed Baron Larsen to relay to Frank that the once strong bond between Frank and the Phoenix Tower was now severed. Inside the grand halls of the Dimitry Palace, Roman stood poised amidst the throng of guests, his gaze sweeping over the assembled nobility. His thoughts drifted to the noticeable absence of emissaries from the two mighty empires. Roman acknowledged the predictable reticence of Kronos, given their history of issuing assassination threats. As for the Valhalla Empire, Roman speculated that they likely wouldn't overlook the passing of Count Denver, especially considering their burgeoning ambitions for continental dominance. With the geopolitical landscape shifting towards an inevitable clash between empires and the Kingdom Alliance, Roman pondered the transient nature of their alliances with neighboring realms. He understood that while such partnerships served their current interests, ultimately, Cairo needed to bolster its own strength to withstand the encroaching imperial forces. In the midst of his contemplation, hence, the palace attendant entered the room, bearing news of an unexpected guest awaiting Roman's presence in the reception chamber. Surprised, Roman inquired if he had a scheduled meeting. Hans revealed that the visitor was none other than the prince from the Kingdom of Hector. The scene transitions to the reception room, where Edwin warmly greets Roman. With genuine admiration, Edwin congratulates Roman on the establishment of the Duchy of Dimitry, praising his swift resolution of the rebellion in Cairo and his remarkable victory over the Kronos Empire. Roman, ever direct, cuts through the pleasantries, prompting Edwin to get to the heart of the matter. Acknowledging Roman's straightforward approach, Edwin admits that he hadn't anticipated their reunion outside the battlefield. Without preamble, Edwin reveals the startling revelation: there was a clandestine force behind the war between Hector and Cairo. He explains that Hector had initiated the conflict in response to years of failed harvests, a motive with no justification. However, following the war's conclusion, evidence emerged suggesting that the poor harvests had been deliberately engineered. As the land darkened and reports surfaced of an abundance of animal carcasses, Edwin somberly informs Roman of the ominous signs of a necromancer's curse. He emphasizes the perilous nature of delving into the realm of black magic, cautioning against humanity's involvement in such forbidden arts. Delving deeper into the matter, Edwin reveals that Hector's investigation uncovered a disturbing pattern. Hector's investigation has unearthed a startling revelation. A decade ago, the Kronos Empire experienced similar agricultural hardships to those in Hector. Edwin discloses to Roman that the Kronos Empire deliberately concealed this information, only to later confirm that these anomalies were the result of sinister black magic experiments. Moreover, the empire harbors ambitions to fully subjugate the northern territories of the continent, initiating a formal campaign of conquest. Edwin emphasizes to Roman that this threat transcends Hector's borders. It could very well pose a future danger to the Duchy of Dimitry. To counter the burgeoning ambitions of the Kronos Empire, Edwin proposes a united front, urging Dimitry and Hector to forge an alliance.